In this video, I'm going to show you how you can get, well, this. This is OBS, and I'm going to show you it right from the beginning. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you've never been here before and you want to learn all about music tech and looping, start now by clicking the subscribe button, hit that bell, and you won't miss anything. So a big thank you to those who have watched the How to Set Up Live Streaming for Musicians video. That's had quite a few views in quite a short space of time, but also with it quite a lot of comments as well and some questions about OBS. So this is OBS that we're looking at right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to completely get rid of OBS and we're going to re-download OBS and then set it all up all over again. I want to show you how I set mine up, all these little bits and what they mean, and also how I use it in a live stream. So the first thing I'm going to do is quit OBS. So if you haven't already, the first thing you're going to need to do is get OBS. We are now on version 25 of OBS, which is fantastic, and it's only just dropped for version 25 for the Mac. So let's go and grab it. When you download it, there is a getting started overview, there's a forum there, and you can grab a couple of pieces of information. There's also a quick start guide. So first of all, I'm going to make this as big as I can, but I'm not going full screen, and there is a reason, because I want to show you what these bits have been up here. So we've got a big blank page. This is what your viewers are going to see. Underneath that, we've got scenes, sources, audio mixer, scene transitions, and then you've got controls. If you don't see this when you very first set it up, then what you need to do is you need to go over to View, Docs, and then make sure scenes are over there as well. You can even bring up stats as well, so it shows you the CPU usage, whether it's been dropping a frame rate, whether you've got a disk available. I don't normally have that up. So here we can actually go over to profiles. So you can have a profile, and within that profile you can have multiple scenes. Let's say I've got a JP profile, and within that I've got loads of different scenes. One's for doing live streaming, one's for doing recording, because I can record at the same time. One is a different setup where it's got loads of different moves or different fades or different transitions, so you can do things like that. So scene selection is obviously your different selection of scenes, and the profile, I could have another profile for, say, another band or a different artist. So I've only got myself, so we've got obviously this one, this new one that we've set up, and then scene selection there. So the other thing I would always recommend doing is go to help and then also check for updates. We are on the latest version because we have just downloaded it. First of all, we have scenes, then within those scenes you have sources, and then for the sources you have also audio mixer. Now on this side you've got controls, and you've got start streaming. You can also start recording, and that will happen simultaneously. You've got studio mode, settings, and exit. Let me show you studio mode. So what this does is it moves the transition from one to the other. So you've got the preview and the program. The program is what the audience sees. This is what's going on right now. And then the preview is what's about to happen. And you can click transition and fade between one to the other. You can also mix between one to the other, which is really nice. I tend to be out of studio mode. I tend to just leave it like this, and then we can actually just go between scenes. So let's get this set up. So the first thing we want to do is we want to add a microphone, and we want to add the camera, of course. So we've got here, if you don't have any sources, click the plus button below or the right click to add one. So we can right click and add, and we've got all these different sources. The latest version is really nice. It's actually put little icons onto what each thing is, which makes it a little bit easier. And I'm just going to click the plus button, and it just does the same thing. We can just right click and add. You can also copy and paste things, and we can do that later. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click or two-finger click on a trackpad. We're going to add an audio input capture. So input capture is basically an audio unit. So I've got an audio, a Focusrite 2i2 plugged in. So we're going to go Focusrite 2i2. That's what I'm going to call it. Now it's asking me, where's that audio coming from? You can see here on the audio mixer something's come up, but it's actually just using the microphone of the iMac right now. What I want it to do is I don't want that, I want that one. So if I do that right now, you can see the volume's gone down. I do have a microphone plugged in on channel 1, so let's just tap that. There it is. And I can even make that mono if I want to, or stereo. It's entirely up to myself. So the Focusrite's in, and you can see a little microphone there. Next, we're going to add in a video capture device. So let's call this camera. In fact, let's call it iMac camera. Okay, so right now it's not got anything. Let's go to devices, and there it is, the FaceTime camera. Let's pull it up, and there we are. Hi. So the FaceTime camera has a maximum of 720. That's fine. We can click on there, and what it does is it brings this box up. See this box here? So we can move this around and put it wherever we want in our stream. Maybe you want it in the corner and you want to have something else here, or maybe you just want it full screen. The nice thing about OBS is it kind of snaps in, so you can see it snapping in there, right in the corner. I could move it around, I could have it this big. I've done tutorials before where my camera is actually not very big, but I've actually got, say, like the iPad, or I've got like another screen actually here and this big section, there in this big section. So you can do it like that. For this tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to make this full screen because it's a performance. You want to be able to see us. The other thing as well is just a little bit of a tip. Cameras love light, so make sure you've got loads of light. I've actually got a whopping big light here. I'm going to go completely overexposed when I push this in. There you go, and that's really bright. And I've also got another light here. You can just see that little light there. It's covering my face at the moment. So I've got light here and then light there, just to light the background up a little bit, just so you can see where I am. I've got another light over there. I could turn that straight on and then light that up even more. So there we go. We've got our microphone, which is now here, and if I pick this up and it's plugged in, just USB plugged in, and the Mac's automatically understood it. So there we go. And I can see from the Focusrite the little halo rings to tell me whether I'm peaking too much, but I can also see it on OBS as well, which is a really nice indicator. Now at the moment this, I'm going to put this down because you can hear me anyway. Now at the moment this camera is still red. See the red bar on the outside? What we're going to do is we've got these little bits here for sources. We've got a little eye and we've got a little padlock. If I padlock that, that means it's locked in place. If I put something on the top of it, then it won't alter it at all. If I move it by accident, if I click the little eye, it disappears. It means that it is literally gone. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add in a ticker. I want something scrolling across the bottom here, giving the audience a little bit of information. Maybe it's telling them to go to a website, or maybe they know that there's a virtual tip jar available. So if I click on there, let's go to text. Let's just call it ticker for now. And then this is where we can put in our text. So hello from JP, live, buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/John Paul Music UK. Okay. So it's all huge at the moment and you can't quite see me. So what we're going to do is I'm going to change this and we can go select font. You can also scroll down. Someone was asking me how to change the color. It's actually a scroll down just here. It doesn't really give that information unless you've got this window really, really big, which it doesn't do that by default. So we can change the font. We can change what it says. What I like to do as well is I actually put loads of space bars in. And if you just do this, and put loads of space bars in at the end, because we're going to make it scroll. So last thing we wanted to do is then have John Paul Music UK, hello from JP. Straight away you want a little bit of a gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the font that I like. Let's have a look what we've got. So let's go with impact, and we're going to go with the size of 36. Now, there we go, that's a little bit better. So we can move this around. You can move this wherever you want. That might actually be a little bit too small, so I want to change that. But what I'm going to do is, let's just leave it like that for now, just as an example. And then what we're going to do is, we're going to alter this ticker and we're going to change how it behaves. So what we need to do is we need to right-click it and we need to go into filters. This is where you can add some effects, and this is one of the effects we're going to use. So if we add an effect, there is an effect which is scroll. So let's just call it scroll for now. And it's not scrolling at the moment, so we can scroll it this way. You can see it's scrolling there. I can even scroll it that way if you want to, which is really odd. And let's just go down to 0 on that one, and it's scrolling really slowly at the moment. Let's scroll at about 60. There we go. You can limit the width. You can also limit the height as well. So, and it's looping. So if I say don't loop, it'll just scroll once. If I hit loop, it'll just repeat it. This is why you put a lot of spaces in the text. So if I was to save that, let's put a load more spaces in, and a load more spaces in there. What this does is it makes it bigger and bigger and bigger. Let's say hello in the chat. Okay, that'll do. Save. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to snap this in. Let's just make that the size of the screen, and then I'm going to lock it. Now, one thing I want to talk about with OBS is actually the hierarchy of what things are in sources. If I was to unlock this and put it underneath the camera, it literally is underneath the camera, so you can't see it. So you must make sure that that's there. What I normally do is I normally set the camera at the very bottom, and then the audio doesn't matter, the audio is coming through anyway. So now that's locked. There you go, you can see there, I made a couple of different choices, but you can see it's going through. Now on my other one, what you saw a black bar going across, and that's because I actually have a little bit of a black bar animation that I can loop as well. So we're going to actually add this in as a lower third. So let's grab this now, and it is actually a media source, so it's a little bit of video, and I'm going to loop it. So we go media source, I'm going to call it lower third, and click OK. And then it's asking me what we want to do with it, so we haven't got it yet, but we're going to loop it and restart playback when the source comes active, show nothing when the playback ends, which makes sense, and then you can change the speed if you want to. So we're going to go and browse and find that. Okay, so I've used a different one, and this basically is one that's over the top. Now you can see it's over the top of the ticker, so what we need to do is we need to move this so it is underneath, and it's much too big. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock the ticker, but the lower third we're going to move down. So all I need to do is just do that. There we go. We can even move the ticker up slightly. Let's do that. Let's move that so it's in the middle, so it's not sitting there like that. Let's do the lower third. Move that up just a little bit. There we go. Nice. Really, really simply, all I need to do now is just lock these. They are in place. There we go. So you can then turn these on or off, and you can see the little flash that goes past. Okay, so we've got our, let's recap. We've got our Focusrite in, we've got the iMac camera, we've got the lower third, and we've got the ticker on top. The next thing I want to do is I want to bring in a little animation which actually tells people to subscribe. So I'm going to do exactly the same. We're going to bring this in. It's a media source once again. And we bring the media source, and this is our subscribe media source. Let's do that. We browse it. Click. So there it is there on subscribe. But you'll notice basically it's come in. If I click that, it'll come in. There it is. That's big and that's powerful. And then once it's gone, the red bar will go, but then it still says it's there, and we haven't locked it. So how do I move it around? What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to turn it off and then turn it back on again. So whilst it's active, I can actually move it around. So I'm just going to move it to, let's just say there, and then I can lock it in place. So in order to make this work, I've got to turn it off and then turn it on again. So when I turn it on, it'll come back up. So we're doing quite well. We've got our Focusrite, our iMac, we've got the lower third with the ticker over the top, and we've now got our subscribe button. The next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that we're set up for live streaming. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to actually go and grab our own key, and this is called a stream key. When you go onto something like Facebook or YouTube or anything like that, you're given what's called a stream key. And a stream key basically is a way of telling YouTube or Facebook, don't use the normal camera, stream it from this location, and then OBS is here, and then they link together. So it actually takes the feed from OBS as opposed to anything else. So we do all of that in the settings. So we're going to go into settings now and then have a look at this. So we've got a couple of things here in general, but the main thing we want to do is stream. And this is where it's actually really simple. All we do is we tell it which streaming site we want to use. So if you're using YouTube or YouTube Gaming, or if you're doing Facebook Live. So let's do Facebook Live, just to show you. If we do Facebook Live, then you can see the server is default. That's fine. Stream key. Go and get our stream key. And if you click on it, it will literally just take you to Facebook. And this is the real nice thing. So you can literally go set up with OBS. There's other ones there, Wirecast or XSplit. Connect. You can go live with a profile, page, group, or event. Select live stream to begin, and then copy the stream key software into your software settings when you create a live stream. So if I was to create a live stream now, Facebook, for example, takes us to what they call a studio. So we go use stream key, use camera, or use a paired encoder. We need the stream key, so we click next, and then we click done. And then my stream key is over here, and the server's over here. So I can basically then go copy that. Let's go back into OBS, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and paste it. Click OK, and that's now in. So if I start streaming straight away, it's connecting through the internet to Facebook, and it's also recording at the same time. So let's check that. Let's find out if that's worked. So it says waiting for live video, and there's always a little bit of a delay, and you can see just down there, there I am. What I can do is I can say stop streaming. It's stop streaming and stop recording. And then you'll notice when we do that, we're having trouble playing a video. I'm sure you are, because I'm not playing a video anymore. The next thing is different scenes. Now, why would you want different scenes? Different scenes are really, really useful. For example, I could actually have a different scene, which is my iPhone or my iPad, where I can actually show you the content of that, or I could use the camera of that for a second view. So I have my iPhone plugged in, and I've got it set on the camera. So the camera's set on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set a brand new scene here. We're going to call it scene 2. Why not? That's fine. Now, the nice thing about this bit is if I go back to scene 1, I can actually select all of these and I can copy them. So if I right click and just go copy, go to scene 2, and then on here on the sources, just literally paste for reference. Now it will come in with the wrong display size, and that's fine, but it's copied everything in and I don't have to rewrite everything all over again. I've just got to adjust a couple of things. So let's adjust the camera. Let's put that there. Let's put that there. Grand. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop my phone on as another video source. So all I do is go to add and go, let's have a look, the video capture device. So let's call this iPhone. Okay. This time, what you can do is, that's my iPhone, because I've got renamed it John Paul Music UK. And if I click it, there it is. Hi. Now, it's just using the camera app right now, and you can see the size of it. It's quite big. So I can move this around. So you could have this as a different size. So you could have this, say you're a band, you've got basically multiple cameras in the room. You could maneuver this around. So this is here, they've got this one here, or you've got one on a drummer, one on a pianist, or one on a guitarist, one on a singer. So you could have multiple angles all in one go. So all I need to do now is basically tell Filmic Pro to change the camera to the selfie camera, and then they have a nice little addition, which is on the device. You can tap to hide the interface. So if I tap it, the interface goes away. So it just becomes a camera. And this is fantastic, because what I can now do is I can hold this and I can reshape this or resize this wherever I want. I could get another camera, put it here. I could actually have something else like an animation, whatever you want it to be. So this is the really, really clever way of doing this. So now if I go back to scene 1 is just this camera. Scene 2, I could have this camera, or I could get rid of the iMac one completely, and we could say no to that, and this one could just be full screen. Now you'll notice I've got rid of the ticker. That's because the iPhone is at the top. So what we need to do is we need to drag this down, and there we go. Everything comes back. But it's just a really different way of setting up a live stream. And all I've done, I had this question like, will my phone work? I'm using an iMac and I'm also using an iPhone. So they're both made by Apple. So I just plug it in and then set it up as, there we go, a video capture device. So this is a really, really great way of doing a live stream with multiple camera angles, and that way you can just plug in, and an iPhone with an iMac works really, really well as part of the ecosystem. You just get it set up as a capture device and it just sees it. It just does, which is really, really clever. Now, the other thing as well I want to take you through, I'm going to go back to the main scene, which is this one, hi, and I'm just going to go over audio mixer. So audio mixer, we've got the Focusrite 2i2, lower third and subscribe. So lower third and subscribe have got audio in the video. So you could play a video, you could play like an intro roll, or you could play something that has got audio in. So we can change the audio of that so that it doesn't, you know, go nuts. Next up to that is scene selection. Now you've got fade or cut, but what you can also do is you can add in a couple of other ones. So we've got swipe. We can add a swipe in, so it swipes from left to right, or right to left, whatever you want it to do. So now if we go from scene 1 to scene 2, it swipes across. You see how quick that is? So it's 300 milliseconds. So let's change that over to 600 milliseconds, and let's do that again. There we go. It's a nice little swipe. Fade, we can fade from one to the other. There we go, that's quite nice. And the other one you can do as well is, if you add another one in, is called a stinger. And a stinger is basically a little bit of video in between two. And this is what I've got on my other one. So if I hit stinger, and if I just put JP Music UK, now it's looking for a video file. So we add the video file in, there we go, why not? And we go, okay, let's do it now. And there you go, there's a little bit of video play there. You can add sound, obviously, for that video, whatever you've got. Let's go back. And it will do it when you pick a new scene. So whichever scene you pick, it will then put it in between, unless you turn around and say, don't do it, or you can just have a different one there. So if you want to go and get your stream key from anywhere, then all you do is go to settings, go to stream, pick the one you want. Let's go to YouTube, and then go to get stream key, and that will actually give you the dashboard to go and get the stream key. Copy it, paste it in here, and then when you start actually streaming, it'll go straight over. And then you still have to click go live on the platform that you're on for it to actually work, so people can see it. You can start streaming straight away. Just be aware that there will be a little bit of a delay, because it's got to be sent from OBS to YouTube and then YouTube out, or Facebook, or whoever you're using. When you also do this, it also records as well. So if you go to settings, you go to output, you can actually tell it what it's doing. Now this is where you can have a look at things like the stream rate, the audio bit rate. I normally put it at 192. It does give you a warning if it's set at 128, as it's currently limited for some streaming services, but I put it at 192 because it's music, you want it to be a high quality. And then the recording is where you've got it saved, so I got my recordings saved here, and it'll just save straight away, and the same quality as the stream, and you can even change it so it's like MP4 or .mov, whatever you want it to be. And then that way, what you've got as well is you've got the option, let's just save that, you've got the option then to use that video in another format. So you could actually cut it up a little bit and put it on Instagram, or you could actually do a Facebook live stream, and then you could actually put it as a normal video on YouTube. And it's really, really handy. So that is OBS. OBS is a fantastic system, and it's a really, really clever system to basically just plug in like an iPhone or like a secondary camera, and there's loads of options here. I'm just going to quickly show you these. So we've got audio input, audio output. Make sure it's an input if you want it going in to OBS. You've got your browser, so you could actually show your browser if you're showing stuff on the internet. Color source, display capture, so you could actually capture your whole display if you wanted to. An image, just a basic image. If you've got like a logo for your band or your artist logo if you want to. You can have a slideshow. And you've got a jack input client as well, media source for videos, NDI sources as well. Scenes, you can actually import a scene, a whole scene if you want to. So a whole scene, if you've already got from another OBS, you can bring it over. You've got Siphon Client, which is predominantly for gaming. You've got text, VLC video sources, video capture device, which is things like cameras, like an iMac camera or an iPhone camera. Window capture. Now there is iOS camera, and I can't get this, currently filming this, I can't get this to work. I don't know if it's a new feature. I think it's a new feature on OBS. But when I go for iOS camera, it doesn't see my iPhone, but the video capture device does. Just the way it is. So thank you very much for watching, and if you have liked the content of this video, then please do give it a thumbs up. And I'm going to use my subscribe here, so if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. And also, if you want to support me a little bit more, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/John Paul Music UK. And if you do have any questions, please put them in the comments and I'll try and answer them as quickly as I can. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.